So we were discussing that you've been legally driving since you were 14 years old.
That's correct. It's. I think that I mean that. Well, I had a lot of fun with that old car.
Did you get tasked to do a lot of chores for your folks, like go to the grocery store?
Oh, I probably did, but I don't remember things like that. But
Okay.
one of the things I was going to say, that was the afternoon that I got my driver's. I think it was afternoon, whichever it was. At any rate, I went back out driving when the sun went down.
Okay.
And I had a couple of kids with me, a couple of my buddies that lived on the street. And they were quite a bit younger than I was. But anyway, they'd like to hang around and go for a ride. I mean, this was neat,
Right.
They thought this was really big stuff. And so we're driving on Sirius Road, and I'm headed north back towards Santa Fe. And all of a sudden, I get hit in the face with a spotlight.
Oh, man.
And what it was a Greyhound bus was coming in the opposite lane, coming toward me. And one of my seal beams that I installed had worked loose and was pointed up like that and hit the oncoming traffic right in the face.
Oh, no.
When he just flashed it, real quick.
Yeah.
But it really startled me, and I swerved the car. And it was what we called the state police, which were the highway patrol, was right behind me. And so consequently, he pulled me over after,
Right.
right away. Turned the siren on and pulled me over. So I pull up, and he comes up and he says, "Can I see your driver's license?" So I pulled my wallet out, and naturally I'm pretty nervous. The first thing I pull out is a dollar bill and hand him. And he says, "I don't want your money." Says, "I didn't. Have you got a driver's license?" So I gave him the right thing, so everything was cool. No problem. He just warned me, and he said, "These kids should be home in bed. Why don't you take them home?"
Okay, so if you were born in 1930 and you were 14 years old, this was 1944.
Yeah.
Gas rationing and how
And
heavy
no
was
tires.
traffic?
The tires were a premium.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because I had 17-inch tires, which were unheard of. I mean,
Oh, really?
in those days, everything was running on 16-inch wheels.
Oh, no kidding.
The tires, the size was a 616.
Mm-hmm.
That was what was real popular. Everything had a 616. Well, these were 17 fours.
Okay.
17 diameter, 4 inches wide.
Oh, wow.
And I had the old solid wheel with a split rim.
Oh, really?
So that was a real trick to fix a flat.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I didn't have many of them. But I couldn't buy tires for it.
Mm.
But I did manage to find boots and stuff to put in when they needed
Okay.
repair.
Okay.
And I found enough tubes to make it work and everything.
Interesting.
And at that time, my dad worked for a Continental Oil Company, so I don't think I had a problem with gasoline.
Oh, interesting.
And
Wow.
I don't remember very much about that part, but it wasn't only another year later that the war was over. So
Right.
then, up until that point, there was rationing all over.
Uh-huh.
Everything, sugar and gasoline and tires and meat.
Yeah.
I can't remember everything that was rationed, but I remember having, every time I went to the store, I had to take a handful of stamps or a book.
Okay.
And you had various levels of gas. I mean, if you had a A card or a B card or a C card.
Oh, right, right.
And I think the C's, you got a lot more gas than the A's and all like that. But,
Okay.
and anyway, it was a interesting time. And I remember one time that we were going out to, I think our biology class was going out to Pecos, and I guess to go through the fish hatcheries in Pecos.
Okay.
And we had to, I don't know, people would, okay. I can't remember how everybody arranged to go. But anyway, I told them I'd take my car, and anybody wanted to go with me. Well, you know who went with us was the teacher.
Oh.
He sat in the front seat next to me, and I took 3 other kids.
Wow, interesting.
And, with no problem driving out there and back. So.
That's something.
If I remember right, his name was Ellsbrock.
And I guess you and Dad were in high school pretty much together.
Right. He was only a grade ahead of me.
Okay.
Because in the first grade he had whooping cough and pneumonia. Oh, right. One backed up the other one. I can't remember which was first. I think the whooping cough was first, and then pneumonia. So he was out of school from probably the end of September to January, something like that. So they wouldn't promote him to the second grade, so he had to do the first grade. They wouldn't promote him to the second grade. How did that work? Anyway, he had to stay back a year.
Okay.
And so he was only 1 grade ahead of me.
Okay.
And even though he should have been 2.
And you didn't get the whooping cough?
I think I did, I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember childhood illnesses. I remember getting the chicken pox, but I was in the high school.
Oh, really? Wow.
And I gave them to my sister when she was a little baby, bitty.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
So how many years separate you, and do you remember when she came along?
She came along 41.
Okay.
So she was 11 years younger.
Wow.
And Kathy came along at 46.
Oh, really?
I think it was.
Okay.
15 years younger. Basically 15 years. Because she was born in January.
Okay. And I guess at some point, Dad graduated and went, I don't know, to the highway department or the Air Force, and you were then in Santa Fe for a year without him.
Well, what happened is Merrill got the job with the highway department, and he worked a couple of years for the highway department, and I stayed in Santa Fe and worked, he got to travel around and had good stories and everything. So I applied for the same thing,
Oh, okay.
for the summertime, because it sounded like a neat job and all that. And when he joined the Air Force, when he graduated from high school, he joined the Air Force right away.
Oh, okay.
And went to, so then they took, hey, okay, Merrill was a good employee, we'll take his little brother, so, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so anyway,